Picture this. You're boarding what looks like a private jet from the future. A sleek, sculpted Italian machine, low, sharp, and unmistakably different from anything else on the ramp. But here's the twist. Those aren't jet engines on the sides. They're pusher turboprops, mounted backwards, tucked elegantly behind the wings. And yet, you're about to fly nearly as fast as a light jet while burning fuel like a turboprop. This is the Piaggio Avanti Evo, Italy's most unique aircraft and one of the most controversial, misunderstood, and brilliantly engineered machines in private aviation. Today, we're stepping inside the $8 million Avanti Evo and exploring why this Italian masterpiece might be the smartest and boldest aircraft purchase most people never even consider.
The moment you see the Avanti Evo, you know something is different. The forward wings, the main wings, the T-tail, and those impossible-looking rear-mounted 5-blade scimitar propellers. It breaks every expectation of what a turboprop should look like. But on this aircraft, the unusual isn't cosmetic, it's functional. The Avanti's 3 lifting surface configuration, the canard, the main wing, and the tail, reduces drag dramatically. It's one of the most aerodynamically efficient business aircraft ever designed. And here's the truly wild part. Piaggio engineers claim the fuselage itself generates nearly 20% of the aircraft's total lift. This entire body is contributing to flight, not just being pulled along for the ride. The result? Less drag, more speed, lower fuel burn, and a flight profile that feels more like a jet than a turboprop.
Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where the Avanti Evo becomes almost unbelievable. The aircraft's max cruise speed is 402 knots, or about 463 miles per hour. That makes the Avanti the fastest turboprop in the world, rivaling and even outperforming many light jets. Compare it to a Beechcraft King Air 350i. The Avanti is nearly 90 knots faster. A Citation Mustang? The Avanti is significantly quicker. Even the Phenom 100 struggles to pull away in cruise. And yet, you're burning turboprop fuel. The service ceiling is 41,000 feet. Jet territory. Above weather. Above most commercial traffic. Climb performance? Reaching 25,000 feet in around 10 minutes, an almost jet-like ascent. Range? Depending on configuration, 1,470 to nearly 2,000 nautical miles. New York to Dallas, London to Rome, Dubai to Mumbai. And here's where the economics truly separate the Avanti from the pack. It burns roughly 40% less fuel than comparable light jets, and the typical operating cost, depending on usage, is around $2,000 per hour, far below jets that cost $3,000, $4,000, or even $5,000 plus per hour to operate. Jet performance, turboprop efficiency, Italian design. It's a very unusual, very compelling combination. Inside the Avanti Evo, the first thing you notice is the cabin height. 5 feet 9 inches tall, over 6 feet wide, 15 feet long. For a turboprop, this is unheard of. In fact, the Avanti's cabin is taller and wider than many light jets. Wider than a Citation M2, taller and more spacious than a Phenom 100, more comfortable than a King Air 350i. The cabin also gets wider as you move aft, something that feels completely counterintuitive, yet incredibly pleasant once inside. The seats are upholstered in handcrafted Italian poltrona Frau leather, the same supplier used by Ferrari and Maserati. Everything inside feels refined, minimalist, and unmistakably Italian.
Depending on configuration, you can seat 6 to 9 passengers in pure executive comfort. VIP layouts are common. Air ambulance and government configurations are also widely used worldwide. And thanks to the aircraft's aerodynamic efficiency, the cabin noise is significantly lower than older Avanti models. No more Avanti whine that made headlines years ago. At 41,000 feet, the cabin altitude is around 6,600 feet, better than many older light jets. This is not a turboprop interior. This is a private jet cabin experience in a turboprop airframe.
The newest Avanti Evo models include a major technological upgrade, an enhanced vision system, or EVS, first delivered in 2025. High-resolution infrared cameras feed real-time visuals directly onto cockpit displays, allowing pilots to see runways, obstacles, and terrain even in low-visibility conditions. It's essentially giving the aircraft night vision capabilities, but seamlessly integrated into the avionics. The engines, Pratt & Whitney PT6A 6Bs, are legendary for reliability. They're also equipped with digital engine control systems similar to those found on the King Air B200, yet they push the Avanti to speeds 100 knots faster. Handling? Despite its exotic shape, pilots consistently compare it to a light jet. Digital steering, anti-skid braking, auto-trim tabs, everything feels modern and intuitive. The Avanti's history is complicated. In 2013, the fractional operator Avantair collapsed, leaving dozens of Avantis grounded and flooding the used market. Values dropped, parts support lagged, and the aircraft gained a reputation, fair or not, as difficult to maintain. The company struggled financially for years, until everything changed in 2025. Turkish aerospace giant Baykar, the world's leading drone exporter, acquired Piaggio Aerospace, bringing massive capital, engineering talent, and manufacturing discipline. Baykar is now ramping production toward 25 to 30 aircraft per year by 2030 and working with the Italian Ministry of Defense on technology integration. The combination of Italian craftsmanship and Turkish aerospace innovation has given the Avanti Evo something it hasn't had in over a decade: stability, support, and a future.
The Avanti Evo is not for everyone. And that's exactly why it works. Its buyers tend to be CEOs and entrepreneurs who value efficiency over conformity, pilots who want performance without jet operating costs, governments and military forces using it for VIP, liaison, trainer, or medevac missions, charter and fractional operators drawn to the economics, owners who want something visually striking, rare, and truly distinctive. It doesn't compete with traditional turboprops, and it doesn't compete with jets. It sits in a category of its own, a high-performance turboprop with jet DNA.
At around $8 million new, the Avanti Evo sits in an interesting position. More expensive than a King Air 350i, more expensive than a Citation M2, but dramatically cheaper to operate over the long term. Annual operating cost at around 325 flight hours is roughly $1.1 to $1.2 million. Fuel savings alone can make a dramatic difference over 10 or 15 years of ownership. Pre-owned values have stabilized, especially now that production is increasing and part support is improving. This is an aircraft where rarity genuinely creates value. Only a small number exist, and demand exceeds supply in certain markets. With rising pressure for efficiency and lower emissions, the Avanti Evo is suddenly more relevant than ever. A plane that flies at jet speeds, at turboprop fuel burn, with a uniquely aerodynamic design, is positioned perfectly for the next decade. Baykar's involvement likely means new avionics, upgraded automation, and potentially systems derived from their advanced drone technology. The Avanti Evo isn't going away, it's evolving, and the Italian-Turkish partnership is creating something rare in aviation, a true luxury aircraft that improves year after year.
The Piaggio Avanti Evo is not a normal aircraft. It never was. It was built by designers who refused to follow the rules, and engineers who didn't accept the limitations of traditional aviation. Jet speed, turboprop efficiency, Italian design, and one of the most distinctive silhouettes in the sky. It may be the most unique aircraft Italy has ever produced, and one of the smartest private aviation investments few people ever truly understand. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe for more luxury aviation content. And let me know in the comments. Would you choose the Avanti Evo over a traditional private jet?